So far this season, Lawrence Taylor and his crazed dogs have been poaching home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A big game for both of these teams. The New York Giants are tied with the Washington Redskins at 8-2 atop the NFC East, and Dallas lurking behind at 6-4. Even bigger for the Minnesota Vikings. They are at 6-4, but their general manager Mike Lynn says they are not surrendering the division title at all, conceding nothing to the Chicago Bears, because a victory today and one next week against Cincinnati would set them up against teams they should beat: Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Houston, and New Orleans. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw here at the Metrodome. Obviously a big game, a pumped crowd. They have enjoyed the excitement provided by Tommy Kramer. He's back in favor again here in Minnesota. 21 touchdown passes to his credit, and the Vikings are winning. But today, they're against that awesome Giants defense and that tough pass rush.
Well, the Giants lead the National Football League, Tim, in sacks with 40. Now, 24 of the 40 come from Marshall and Taylor. Both of them come from Tommy Kramer's blind side, his left side. Today, look for that to happen. That's a main problem for the Vikings. Now, how are they going to stop it? Golly, Gary Zimmerman, the left tackle, young left tackle, and Jim Huff, the young guard, has actually is playing with an injury. The two of them have a tremendous task today in giving Kramer time to throw the football. I talked to Tommy Kramer and said, well, how are you going to defeat this? He said, we're going to have to do what we did against the Bears when we beat them. Get into rhythmic passes, 1, 2, 3, and get rid of the football. Don't hold the football. Make big things happen on first down, and we can beat the Giants.
All right, Terry, well, the Minnesota Vikings will have an early opportunity to find out what they can do, because they will receive. The Giants will kick off from our left in their white uniforms, Raul Allegre, and a fine kickoff man. You saw his return average, 22.5. It's Rufus Best, but it comes to Alfred Anderson. He lets the ball bounce, and it rolls into the end zone and will be a touchback. So the Vikings will start from their 20-yard line. Tommy Kramer, who has had a hot hand, passing at 57%, a rating of 95.3. That's number 2 in the National Football Conference. And he faces that devastating defense, ranked number 5 in the entire league: George Martin, Jim Burt, Leonard Marshall, the front 3. Banks, Reasons, Carson, and Taylor. What a load at linebacker. Elvis Patterson back in his corner spot on the left side. Harry Williams on the right. Hill and Kennard are the safeties. First down for the Vikings, and a first down pass. Kramer wants to go deep. The release man is Alan Rice, as the Giants had good coverage downfield. A flag down at the line of scrimmage. Referee Pat Haggerty signals a defensive holding call on the first play of the game. So Tommy Kramer showed exactly what Terry Bradshaw had predicted, trying to get the ball deep downfield on the very first down for the Vikings today.
Holding.
Good coverage.
Number 53, defense, first down.
Harry Carson charged with the defensive holding, number 53. Minnesota offensively with Darren Nelson and Alfred Anderson, the running backs. Wide receivers Anthony Carter and Leo Lewis. Tight end Steve Jordan, who leads the club in receptions. Zimmerman, Huff, Swilly, Tausch, and Irwin, who figure to have their hands full today against that front 3 and the linebackers of the Giants. Anderson picks up about 4 on the play. Carl Banks and Harry Carson on the stop, 58 and 53 respectively. Anderson last week in the game against Detroit picked up about 60 yards and has 184 on the season. Last week was his best effort so far, coming off injuries that bothered him last year, his sophomore season in the NFL. Alan Rice and Alfred Anderson will bring the plays into Tommy Kramer. Bob Schnelker, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings. Second down and 6. Short drop for Kramer. Out of the backfield, Darren Nelson. First down, Vikings to their own 43-yard line. Gary Reasons and Mark Collins. Collins in at Patterson's corner spot, number 25. Collins had become the starter when Elvis Patterson suffered a groin injury a few weeks back. Last week, Collins suffered a separated shoulder in the victory over the Eagles. It was mild enough that he's been permitted to practice and play all this week, and he's out there now. We'll see both Collins and Patterson. Collins, the rookie from Cal State Fullerton, picked up in the second round of the draft this year by the Giants. Play action on first down. Kramer is sacked by Leonard Marshall.
The thing they didn't want to have happen was go into a long play, a long series this time, Tim, where it would allow them to pin their ears back. In this case, it was Marshall coming out with a little play action, hoping to hold the linebackers. Did not hold Marshall, who said, "The heck with that. I'm coming through." As you can see, gets through, gets to the inside. Kramer trying to find some time, going back inside, but Marshall, that time just too quick.
10.5 sacks on the season for the 285-pound Leonard Marshall. 2nd and 15. Vikings were just underway at the Metrodome. Darren Nelson, nowhere to go. Giants stacked that up in the middle of the Giants defensive line. George Martin, the left defensive end, number 75, and Carl Banks, the linebacker, with the contact. George Martin playing for the first time ever against his brother Doug, left defensive end of the Vikings. George, the senior of the brothers, having a little reunion here in Minnesota. Looking forward to it. The first time ever they played against each other. Last night, Doug bought the meal. George bought the tickets
George
to the game.
got the tickets. Fair swap, huh?
Third down and 12. Out of the shotgun, Kramer going deep. Hassan Jones, and it's broken up inside the 20-yard line. Mark Collins back there on the coverage, and help from Herb Welch, the safety, number 27.
Great play by Collins. Actually, that time Hassan Jones had 2 steps on Collins. You can see now, even with the injured shoulder, Tim, why the Giants like him in there. He has what they call that second burst that enables him, even though he has been beaten initially, when the ball's in the air, he can make a burst and get there and knock it down. That time, that's exactly what he did.
Phil McConkey is the punt return man for Greg Coleman. Coleman standing at his own 27-yard line. McConkey waiting for it at the 15. Coleman gets it, dandy off. McConkey will let it go, and it is almost down at the goal line. Carl Lee right at the goal line trying to catch up with the punt by Coleman. A 59-yard strike by Coleman, who's just unhappy that he couldn't get that ball to be stopped right near the goal line. We'll return to the Metrodome, scoreless, 11:55. Well, there's a rear view of Collins and Taylor on the Giants defensive unit. Collins making that good breakup of the pass intended for Hassan Jones, rookie wide receiver, and that's Bill Belichick, defensive coordinator, talking strategy to them. The Giants have it for the first time offensively. Phil Simms brings out the New York Giants at their own 20. Play action pass on first down. The sideliner is complete to Stacy Robinson. First down yardage for the Giants to the 34-yard line. Carl Lee pushed him out of bounds after a 14-yard gain. Stacy Robinson back after 4 games with a bad ankle. Defensively for Minnesota, the 4-3 of Floyd Peters, Doug Martin, Tim Newton, Keith Ballard, and Mark Mullaney. Linebacking core has Chris Martin on the left side, Scott Studwell, and Jesse Solomon for the injured David Howard, although Howard will see some time. Holt, Browner, Harris, and Carl Lee, the secondary. First down, New York. Joe Morris picks up about 3, and then is just bulldogged down by Mark Mullaney, number 77. Offensively for the Giants, as we look at that Darth Vader helmet of Mullaney's, Simms with Morris and Maurice Carthen, Stacy Robinson, Bobby Johnson, Mark Bavaro, the tight end. Brad Benson, Billy Ard, Oates, Godfrey, and Nelson, the rest of the offensive line. Robinson back, as we said, after 4 games out with an ankle injury and badly needed an experienced receiver. Second-year man, picked up a year ago. That's Bavaro for a first down inside the 50-yard line, Minnesota territory. Jesse Solomon made the tackle there. A 15-yard gain, and you know, Terry, Bavaro, bothered with a foot injury, did not practice until yesterday, but he has been the main man for the Giants passing game so far this season.
Bill Parcells said last week against the Eagles that they deliberately try to get Sims started in the right direction by coming out throwing early. Unfortunately, Bavaro dropped 3 of those passes early in the first quarter of that game. Good start this week.
First down, Giants at the 49 of Minnesota. Joe Morris. Morris for about 4. Stopped by Tim Newton, the big left tackle, and Jesse Solomon, the linebacker. Joe Morris, who already has 5 100-yard games to his credit, 4 in a row, has been the main man in the offense with the injuries to the wide receivers, Lionel Manuel, Stacy Robinson, Bobby Johnson playing with an ankle injury. The load has fallen on the running game, and the running game is represented by one short running back, 5'7" Joe Morris, and he is delivered. Second down and 7. Lots of time for Sims, and he runs up the middle, gets about 3 yards. Good coverage downfield. Doug Martin tripped him up.
One of the things you like in an offense is that, number one, you can throw on first down, you're successful. Number two, you run on first down and you're successful. Now you come back, you try to throw again. So what do? You scramble on first down. Sims early, especially early in his career, excellent at this. Injuries, of course, in the 82 and 83 season slowed him down. Doesn't do that as much anymore, and I think that's smart.
Third down and a long 3 for the Giants. Tony Galbraith and Phil McConkey have come in. They're in the shotgun. Lots of time again for Sims. He's got his man McConkey. First down inside the 25 of Minnesota.
The key to this is the offensive line giving Sims enough time to sit back, read the coverage, and go first receiver, second receiver. As you can see, McConkey coming on the inside. Lee's trailing him automatically right now. Now, Harris, 44, the free safety, just freezes in the middle. McConkey goes by him. Good job by Sims.
First down, Giants, 25-yard line in Minnesota. Opening offensive series for New York. Maurice Carthen straightened up right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe 2. Met by Jesse Solomon, the linebacker number 54 out of Florida State. He was picked in the 10th round, walked into Mike Lynn, the general manager's office,
and said, sign me.
Yeah, I'm going to make your club.
You're going to negotiate my contract. Lynn looked at him like, said, who are you? He said, well, I'm a low round 12th rounder, and I'm going to make this football team.
And he has, and he's been playing more and more, especially with the injury to David Howard. Bad elbow. Second and 8. Sims going for it all. Oh, incomplete. Out of the hands of Joe Morris in the end zone.
Excellent throw. It would have taken a great catch, but that ball was well thrown right through the hands of Morris. Once again, I like the offense. I like the way the Giants are mixing it up. Morris on the right of your screen disappears, goes down the field. Now he's picked up by a back. Good job by Phil Sims staying in there. And look at this throw right through the hands of Morris. He leaps at 5'7". You can't ask for more of a leap than that, I guess, Tim.
And that was Jesse Solomon, the linebacker, who had to chase him all the way to the end zone. And he was open, couldn't quite hold on. Third down, 8 to go. 3 receivers out to the left side for Sims. Complete in and out of the hands of Robinson. He had the football, but a tough hit by Lush, number 27.
Lush
the ball loose.
You're going to see Stacy Robinson, been gone for a while, is really not used to the contact. I would say that the hardest thing on new receiver coming out of not playing, Tim, is the fact not catching it, but catching it in a crowd. Ball's thrown a little high. He goes up, makes a good effort for it, but Lush and Lee, hey, that sounds nice. Lush and Lee are there to knock the ball away.
Fourth down, it'll be a field goal try from the 31 from Raul Alegre. There are his numbers for the season. It'll be a 41-yard attempt. Indoor football at the Metrodome. And he's got it. Raul Alegre likes the conditions here. And the Giants, on their first offensive possession, have taken a 3-0 lead. 7:48 remaining here in the first quarter.
Alegre knew he had it. Look, he just turns, Tim, runs to the bench, jumping up and down, saying, all right, 3-0. Giants on top.
That young man must know he's on TV. Took his helmet off. Give everybody a better look. His handsome features, Raul Alegre. who surpassed a number of placement kickers for the Giants this season, starting with Ali Haji Sheikh, and then Cooper Thomas, and it's Allegre who opens the scoring here. 4:07 used up on the clock, and Terry Bradshaw, we've seen both teams come out throwing the football, but I think from the Giants' point of view, Parcells trying to get Sims off on the
That's the difference. The Vikings doing it because they have to do it. Giants doing it because they want Sims to get involved and get his confidence back.
Ted Brown returning the kickoff, gets to the 20-yard line for the Vikings. And they will start there at the 20-yard line, down 3-0. Right now, let's go to our studio in New York, Brent Musburger, for an update on the Bear-Packer game.
Well, Tim, it is the Green Bay Packers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Battle of the Bays. Randy Wright, off that concussion a week ago, is healthy. Number 16, 53 yards to number 85, Philip F. If the Packers aren't careful, they'll deal themselves out of the Benny Testaverde rush. Let's go back to Tim.
All right, Brent, and let's call that one Green Bay, Tampa Bay, as it is. First down, Vikings here. We are at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tommy Kramer, 21 touchdown passes on the season, heading toward breaking his own Viking record in that department. This one is off the mark, intended for Allen Rice out of the backfield, number 36. Second down.
You're going to see Taylor coming in this time. Taylor is simply coming on his own, ties in with the coverage. This isn't an all-out blitz. But the thing that he does here, Tim, is just enough to offset Tommy. As you can notice, Kramer is still drifting backwards, doesn't get set, rushes a little bit. Therefore, it was a bad throw. That's what Taylor will do. He not necessarily is going to get to you every time, but doggone it, you keep thinking you've got to get rid of the football.
David Huffman has come in for Jim Huff. Huff with a pinched nerve in his neck, probably already experiencing some difficulty. Second and 10. Backpedaling Kramer sets up the screen to Alfred Anderson. Close to the first down over the 30-yard line.
There are a lot of ways to handle a rushing lineman and a blitzing linebacker. You can trap him, because if you do that, you're in the secondary. Another way is throw these little screens. Let them penetrate and then throw over their heads and have a big play.
Steve Nelson, the tight end, injured on the play. Their leading pass receiver this season with 34 catches coming into the game and averaging 16-2 in yardage. And he hurt his thigh last week. He was icing his ankle when we were watching practice, following practice here on Friday. And this looks like yet another injury to
Well, he's holding his
Jordan.
head, so it looks like that his head went down and popped on that turf down there, and that stuff doesn't give a lot. He's walking okay. He probably just had his head banged around. A little short on the first down attempt. Third down, probably, I don't know, 8 inches, 9 1/4 inches.
testing your eyes from here, Bradshaw.
Really, I can't even see it.
There's Jerry Burns. He gets that scowl set on, doesn't let it off until the game's over, and he's got a victory in his pocket. He's done that 6 times out of 10 so far. Mike Malarkey comes in to replace Jordan on this next down. You would think that this is an unhappy man, but he's actually having plenty of fun so far this season.
Really, he's right now. He's pretty fired up. You can tell that. You get around him a little bit, you know the difference.
He gets that game face on. 3rd and inches for the Vikings, just over their 30-yard line. Kramer will go for it, and he would appear to have it.
I love it. Get the power back in there.
Well, the crowd here appreciates 2-minute Tommy now. He's had his great times. He's had some lean times. He's had fans love him and fans boo him. He's a pro's pro.
So it kind of goes with the territory. Some cities, it seems the quarterbacks go through a lot more than others, but here in Minnesota, especially Minneapolis, Tommy Kramer's been kind of one of those love-hate relationships.
First down, Vikings, their own 31-yard line. Jordan is back in. This is Darren Nelson. What a defensive play out the left side by Jim Burt. The nose tackle wrapping up Darren Nelson. You know, Nelson, I think, is one of the best kept rushing secrets in the league, Terry. He's got 500 yards rushing through 10 games. And we talked an awful lot about Joe Morris at 5'7", Nelson at 5'9", 180 pounds, having a fine year rushing the football. Got about a yard there before Burton put the ankle grab on him. 2nd and 9. Leo Lewis wide to the left. Dangerous Anthony Carter out the right side, number 81. Darren Nelson, little cutback play to the 40-yard line. Kind of a cute
What that was, Tim, was a sprint draw. Kramer opening up, and they have shown in their offense the ability to take Kramer and sprint him out, and people think, well, they're going to pass the football. This time Kramer opens up, and he'll sprint out, and then all of a sudden delayed hand back to Nelson. No one there. Excellent play.
Jim Burt again on the tackle. Burt leads the down lineman in tackles for the Giants, 46 coming into the game. Great attitude, good leader. Third down, long yard. And he heading in for reasons. And Kramer gets the first down. That designed or busted?
No, that's a busted play. Tommy opening up to his left, looking for a running back. Does the old pirouette, and when he turns back around, heck, it's probably as good a short yardage play as I've ever seen. Look at this. Opens up to the left, misses the back, which was Nelson, turns around and follows the guy right in the hole. A lot of quarterbacks probably would have gone off tackle or somewhere else and gotten sacked and not made the first down, but Kramer was smart enough to go in the hole designed for the play.
Gary Williams stopped him, but not before the first down. Vikings at their 44-yard line. Terry Kennard. That's the kind of pass you were describing in our opening, Terry. Get it off in a hurry.
Well, it's a play that you have to have when you're throwing to the left. You have Carter coming in from the left on a quick slant. As you see, gets inside of Williams. Right now, Williams is beat. The ball's thrown in there quickly. Right when he gets past him, there's the football. Forces Kennard to come up and make the stop. But they got it off quickly, and they got it off in the direction, Tim, that LT, Lawrence Taylor, was coming from.
Time remaining first period. First down Vikings. Giants 45. Anderson. Fine effort by Alfred Anderson. Broke the first hit near the line of scrimmage. Finally driven out by Kennard and Collins. But a gain of 6 for Alfred Anderson, the third-year man from Baylor. Had an outstanding rookie year. Last year plagued by injuries. This year starting to look like what they expected when they drafted him. Number 2 in '84.
Well, he's a big, tough back. One of those typical Baylor backs that not only is he an outstanding runner, big, powerful back, but he's also an excellent receiver.
Second down and 4 Vikings. 39-yard line of the New York Giants. The Giants lead 3-0. 3:36 to go first quarter. Play for Darren Nelson. To the 25-yard line, a 14-yard pickup for the Stanford star.
The thing that's happening, Tim, is that Kramer's showing pass, and the linemen are showing pass, and then they're going back inside. Notice how the tackle and the guard back up and show pass, and then all of a sudden the linebackers drop deep, and then boom, Kramer hands off to a back. The linebackers are deep, and Lawrence Taylor's way behind the play, and you get a big first down.
That's a fine play, and their offense really designed defensively against Taylor, and it's working so far. Darren Nelson picks up 3. Gets to about the 21-yard line before George Martin wraps him up. Big number 75, 12-year man from Oregon. George Martin was once a backup tight end at Oregon to Russ Francis. But you know, it was fun listening to him talk to his brother, wasn't he? When you asked him, he said, who's the better player? He said, Doug is the better player.
Well, he said Doug was. He said Doug has the natural ability. He said, I'm more of a thinking man's type of defensive end.
Basketball player.
He said, I'm a frustrated basketball player. I remember blocking George Martin in a preseason game, which I'm sure he's yet to forgive me for.
Second and 8. Swing pass nearly picked off by George Martin. And the Giants shut that down after a gain of about 2. Nelson was lucky that he wasn't in a foot race against George Martin going for the Minnesota end zone.
Sometimes you try to outguess people. I would want to throw my screens towards Lawrence Taylor because he's the guy that's going to come. He's the man that they want to put pressure on. Now, when you throw it to the strong side where the tight end is, you have linebackers that pretty much read. They're not explosive linebackers. They stay at home. Therefore, you don't have as much success.
And it was Gary Reasons who stayed at home, number 55, and made the tackle. Sally, Dorsey, Lasker, and Welch all in the defensive unit now of the Giants on third down. Hit as he released the ball, and it will be an incomplete pass. They got the hit on him. Giants thought it may have been ruled a fumble, but he was moving forward.
You can tell one of the things that has to happen is they have to be able to have 3rd and 1, not these 3rd and longs, because when they have a long time to throw the football or you have to go deep, Marshall coming in from the blind side, as we said at the top of the show, Tim, boy, you're putting a lot of pressure on Gary Zimmerman, the left tackle for the Vikings, to block him. Marshall just too strong, too quick.
Well, and for Gary Zimmerman, a certain little extra motivation. The Giants owned his rights, tried to sign him. He didn't want to come to New York. He likes to hunt and fish and play in the great outdoors, although he's playing indoor football. They wound up dealing him on draft day to Minnesota for 2 draft picks. Those picks turned out to be Mark Collins and Greg Lasker, both of whom the Giants are happy with. From the 30-yard line, it'll be Chuck Nelson attempting the field goal. Nails it. A 40-yard field goal for Chuck Nelson. And we are tied at 3 in the first period. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. You see Alfred Anderson having his ankles taped. And the Vikings went 57 yards in 13 plays, culminating in Nelson's 39-yard field goal, using up 6:29 on the clock. And we're tied at 3. Chuck Nelson, who won a battle of field goal kickers here in Minnesota to get the job. Ball was 13 in a special kickers camp. Comes down at the 11-yard line. Phil McConkey has it there and has some daylight out to the 34-yard line. Wrapped up by Evans, number 26. Now let's take you to Brent Musburger for an NFL update from New York.
Well, Tim, next week it'll be the Green Bay Packers in Chicago to play the Bears. The Packers are exploding in Milwaukee from the shotgun. Randy Wright, 12 yards to number 80, James Lofton, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. 14-0, Green Bay with the lead. Back to Tim and Terry.
The Pack making some good things happen in Green Bay. The Packers under Randy Wright. That's quite a pop from Charles Mann and the Redskins. Glad to see him out there. Joe Morris gets about 5 on first down near the 44-yard line of the Giants. Mike Stensrud made the tackle, number 74. Morris with 111 yards against the Eagles last week for his 4th consecutive 100-yard day, and he is now over the 1,000-yard mark for the season with that run.
Keith Millard, right tackle for the Vikings. And man, they can't afford to lose. Looks like he's got some kind of injury, Tim.
The ice pack out. We'll keep you updated on him. Second down, Morris with a lot of running room. To the 45-yard line of the Vikings. Phil Simms to Joe Morris out of the backfield, and a first down in Viking territory.
You're going to see what happened as Morris will just come over. A little play action. Simms coming back. Play action. All this is just trying to hopefully hold the linebackers. Turns right around and just dumps the ball off to Morris. Now, the linebackers had gone with the flow. They'd gone completely out of the picture, Tim. And as you can see, no one there except Holt finally comes up and makes the stop.
First down, Giants. 45-yard line in Minnesota. We're tied at 3. Time winding down first quarter. Morris off tackle. Gets only a couple. Chris Martin, number 57, after Studwell tripped him up. Martin finished him off. Gain of 2.
The thing they're doing on first down is Vikings are overloading. They're taking their tackles and playing what they call an over defense to the tight end side, trying to stop Morris going that way. Excellent job by Godfrey and Nelson that time, guard and tackle for the Giants, of driving them off and allowing Morris to get in, at least get a couple of yards.
Gun sounds ending the first quarter here at the... Perfect football weather indoors here today in Minneapolis. Not bad outside. Sunny skies and approaching 40 degrees in normally frigid Minnesota. 2nd and 8 for the Giants. The Vikings without Keith Millard. He's on the bench with an ice pack on his right knee. Mike Stensrud, the former Houston Oiler, number 74, in his place. Simms will run it. Joey Browner, the ball came loose, but it was already down. The Giants first down at the 32-yard line. Joey Browner got a good lick in on Phil Simms.
Good guesswork this time by the Giants, by the Vikings, expecting Simms to send their linebackers. As you can see, Solomon coming from the outside, Stedwell up the middle. The pressure goes by Simms. He says, holy mackerel, let me take off and run. Now here, he gets the first down, Tim, but now he says, well, let me get some more. No way. Browner, necktie.
That is some purple necktie. Doesn't look too good on that white jersey. First down at the 32-yard line. Giants. Morris straight ahead. Another first down at the 16-yard line of the Vikings. John Harris, the last man, number 44, made the stop, a 14-yard gain.
Straight up the middle, nothing fancy. As you can see, Oates in the right guard, Godfrey going down inside. There's the block by Godfrey, and then the splitting of the secondary by Morris. You know, for a little fella, and as quick as he is, he's awfully strong. As you said earlier in the week, Tim, all legs, very little torso.
First down, Giants threatening now at the 16-yard line of the Vikings. We're tied at 3. Maurice Carthen. About 4 yards, maybe 5, near the 10-yard line where Mark Mullaney makes the stop. Now let's go to Brent Musburger once more for another NFL update.
Well, Giant fans, remember the Sheik, Ali Haji Sheik, now kicking for Atlanta, activated this week. He's put the Falcons ahead of the Bears 3-0. And Tim, the Bears had the ball 3 downs and out in the opening quarter. Let's go back to Ted.
Well, the mighty Bears, Super Bowl champs, having their problems, turbulent times in the Windy City. And Atlanta, a tough team against anybody. 2nd and 5 here in Minnesota. Short drop for Simms, has lots of time, but it's out of bounds. Johnson, the intended receiver, number 88. In the end zone was Stacy Robinson, number 81. But Simms either off target or just threw that one away.
Well, the real key here was he wanted that time Lee 39 to come up and press Robinson. Then if he did that, he was going to try to hit the fade, but he didn't. That time Lee stayed off of Robinson, so when Johnson came in and broke out, he was wide open. Simms saw him too late.
Simms 4 of 7, 63 yards so far. We're just underway in the second quarter in Minneapolis, and a timeout has been called by the New York Giants. 13-10 to play here in the first half. Simms will talk things over with Coach Bill Parcells. Ron Earhart upstairs, the offensive coordinator.
Interesting that this week.
We'll be back here at the Metrodome in a moment.
I had no idea.
This man murdered 7. League is sponsored by Miller High Life. Miller made the American way since 1855. Chrysler Motors and its automotive divisions, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Dodge Trucks, working together to be the best. And by Napa Auto Parts, with all the right parts in all the right places.
We are back at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw, where the New York Giants are knocking on the door. 3rd down and 6. Just inside the 12-yard line of the Vikings. A 3-3 football game early in the second quarter. Mark Mullaney with a sack.
Coming inside. The real key here is the fact that not a receiver was open to him. Everyone was covered. Now Simms is looking around. Mullaney actually was knocked down, got up, and made the sack.
So the Vikings come up strong defensively with a key sack. And now Raul Alegre will attempt his second field goal of the afternoon from the 27-yard line. And the kickers like indoor football. Alegre from 37 adds that field goal to his 41-yarder earlier, and it is 6-3 for the Giants. We have 12:46 to play here in the first half of play, and Raul Alegre celebrating his second field goal of the afternoon. Giants 6, Minnesota 3. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw. There's the man who came up with a big defensive play for Minnesota, Mark Mullaney.
That's right. The thing they did that time, the Vikings, Tim, was Mullaney, a natural right defensive end, moved over to the left side, kind of threw him off a little bit.
Little squib kickoff by Allegre, and it's handled by Tim Irwin, the big tackle, who takes a hit and managed to hold on to the football. What a good job by the big guy. 6-year man from Tennessee doesn't expect to be making football grabs.
Well, they don't need to have Irwin go down. He's starting right tackle.
And yes, he took 2 pops on that play and is down and hurting, but he held on to the football. Tim Irwin, the right tackle. Solomon Miller, rookie wide receiver, who got the hit on him for the Giants.
The Vikings don't like for their linemen to handle the football. Normally, in a case like this, the lineman should get away from it and block and let the guys behind him come up and make this. You see Rufus Best coming up to make the reception, and holy mackerel, Irwin just gets decked.
Yeah, he had Best and Anderson behind him, but I guess it's that old instinct. You see the ball and
sure,
try and pull it down, which he did effectively and held on, but he's hurt. But while they attend to Tim Irwin,
gloves on, all taped up, it's kind of hard to get the fingers out there and make a nice clean catch.
Dave Huffman has taken Irwin's place for this first down, at least number 72. Number 2 pick out of Notre Dame back in '79. First down at the 25-yard line. Darren Nelson. Hit by Lawrence Taylor at the line of scrimmage. There'll be a loss or no gain.
A lot of great pilots in the Air Force say they can tell another great pilot by the eyes of an eagle. And look at Lawrence Taylor's eyes. Is he focused in? Is he zeroed in on his opponent? Look at this, down the line of scrimmage. Then all of a sudden sees his victim and then explodes, leading with a helmet, and knocks him down. Eyes of an eagle.
LT, 74 tackles on the season coming into the game, leading in solo tackles with 57. No gain, second and 10. For the Minnesota Vikings.
When you don't send Taylor, you put the responsibility of rushing Kramer on Leonard Marshall. This time, the right of your screen, Lawrence Taylor just stands there. The Giants drive back into a zone. Jordan reads it, goes around one linebacker, sits down, and Kramer gets him the football.
Tommy Kramer passing at 57% on the season. The veteran in his 10th year out of Rice can read those defenses. Took advantage there. First down. It's good time. Incomplete, intended for Darren Nelson. Bill Parcells has never had to face Tommy Kramer in the pros, remembers him from college days. Let's go again to Brent Musburger in New York.
10 folks in Philadelphia are interested in this one. Joe Ferguson has thrown his first touchdown pass of the season for Detroit. It goes to Jeff Chadwick. It's 72 yards, and the Lions in Philadelphia lead the Eagles 7-0. And let's go back to Tim.
All right, Brent, we are at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. 2nd and 10, Vikings at midfield, trailing 6-3. Kramer complete to Anthony Carter. Hit immediately by Elvis Patterson, but first down, Minnesota.
Once again, the Giants electing, Tim, to not send their linebackers, not blitz this time. You can see as Kramer gets pressure upside, he'll move outside. Then good job by Carter of continuing on his route, working back to Kramer. As you can see, Kramer going out. Now he's outside, he's looking downfield, finds AC Anthony Carter as he comes back inside, makes a reception.
Kramer now 6 of 10 for 72 yards here in the first half. First down at the Giants 35-yard line. Alfred Anderson make it to Alan Rice, number 36. Rice picks up about 2. Not a whole lot of room behind Tim Irwin and Terry Tausch. Irwin, by the way, missed just 1 play after being hurt on that kickoff. Came right back in. David Huffman out. Here you see the Falcons in front of the Bears and Green Bay shutting out Tampa Bay. 2nd and 8. 34-yard line. the New York Giants. Carter, first down. Tommy Kramer read that, didn't he, Terry?
He did a beautiful job. There was a change up in the secondary and in the defensive line this time as Marshall came down inside in what they call a lined up kind of a ram. Look at now, you see Marshall down up inside tight. Now he's coming in, double teaming him by Swilly. A good job by Swilly that time. Holding him out, giving Kramer time to see the corner. Corner is blitzing. Kramer sees it and then pops the ball to Carter. 1, 2, 3, boom, get rid of the football.
There's Perry Williams in your screen right there, number 23 on the blitz. First down, Vikings rolling in Giants territory. Darren Nelson nowhere to go. Giants defense strung it out the left side, pushed everybody back. Carson and Banks were there to lead the charge.
You know, you can look at that play. A long sweep would indicate to me the same thing as a long pass, Tim. And the Giants don't allow you the time to stretch their defense out. They have too much pursuit. You're better off hitting little quick plays up the middle, little quick passes, and not allow them to get the great pursuit on you.
It's an interesting comparison. You need the time to get the guy around the corner, like you need the time to get it downfield.
Long sweep allows everyone to react.
Second down and 14 with a 4-yard loss by the Giants defense led by Carson and Banks. Kramer forced out and dropped by Lawrence Taylor. Second sack of the day. First for the NFL's leading sacker, Lawrence Taylor.
You're going to see what Taylor, this is how excited and hungry Taylor is to get to the quarterback. Notice as he comes, now he makes a move inside. Now he's hit again. He tries to maintain his balance and swings back around, and he and George Martin get to Kramer at the same time.
Loss of 6 more on the play. Third down, nearly 20. You see Taylor into the game with 15.5. Well, he's 15.5 now. Ahead of Dexter Manley of the Redskins. Third down, shotgun situation. Kramer trying to escape. Can't do it. Wrapped up by Jerome Sally, number 78. Kramer actually did a good job to get as far as he did, picking up about 6 yards, but it brings up another 4th down.
Something that'll happen, and we'll be alert for this, is that as a quarterback is constantly harassed, later on in the game, when the game especially becomes tense and really close to him, the quarterback has a tendency to say, I don't have enough time, and he gets out of his reads and starts running and starts reading the defensive lineman's rush instead of reading the coverage. And as they continue to pressure Kramer, it will make him change and start looking for people to sack him.
2-minute Tommy. Checking the time. Scoreboard, 7:05 to go. And from the 35-yard line, Chuck Nelson will try to tie it up. A 45-yard attempt. Perfect, the field goal kickers. 2 for 2, Chuck Nelson. 2 for 2, Raul Alegre. As the defenses have stopped them approaching the red zone, it's been up to these men, and they've delivered.
One of the great young defensive tackles in the National Football League, Keith Millard, obviously got a knee injury, going to be out of this football game. Maybe he'll be back, I don't know. But in talking to him and talking to his coaches, they love him. This guy leads the National Football League in sacks for tackles with 8.5, and a real inspiration, a real fiery, competitive guy.
Nelson will kick it off. McConkey from the 4. Tackle at the 20-yard line by Walker Lee Ashley, number 58. Well, next Sunday on CBS Sports, doubleheader action in the NFL, the Chicago Bears against their old nemesis, the Green Bay Packers. And then 2 teams with high playoff hopes, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. That's a big East matchup for the games in your area. Check the local listings. Starts with the NFL today, next week on CBS Sports. First down, Giants. Play action, Sims. Morris. Tough hit on him from Chris Martin, but about a 6-yard pickup for the Giants. Now let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, so far it has been a tough afternoon for the Chicago Bears. About 10 minutes to go in the first half. They don't have a first down. Here's a Reggie Wilkes interception for the Falcons. Mike Tomczak 0-4 with an interception, but the Bear defense has knocked Dave Archer out of the game. Turk Schonert's in. The Falcons with the 3. Back to Tim.
Back here in Minneapolis, it is 2nd and 3, and Morris gets away from the first man, but not Browner. Joe Morris, a loss of a couple on the play. Chris Martin tried to tie him up, couldn't hold him, but got helped.
Martin, 57, in the vicinity of your screen, just going to go across the line of scrimmage, down inside, Bavaro up inside, and now he nails Morris in the backfield, but doesn't make the tackle. Browner, the strong safety, he comes up and he finishes Morris off.
Rufus Best, Mike Lush, David Evans in defensively. Goldman as a pass rusher on 3rd down for Minnesota. First down to the 40-yard line. And the former Viking, who is truly a specialist in that department, comes up with yet another 3rd down conversion. 12-yard pickup out to the 39-yard line of New York.
Well, that's his 22nd reception, and Parcells has said, just stated, he said the only time we use him is what? In 3rd down in passing situations, and all we're going to do is what? Throw him the football.
Everybody knows it, they just can't stop him.
That's right.
First down, Giants. Sims complete to Bavaro. To the 36-yard line of the Vikings. Jesse Solomon drove him out there. "25-yard gain. Sims to Mark Bavaro, playing with that sore foot. Got a big toe bothering him. He mentioned he missed practice most of the week. Had a bit of a tough game last week against the Eagles when he had 3 early drops. But he's been hot today. First down. Sims with lots of time. Complete to the 11-yard line. It is Bavaro again.
Sims, a guy that's got an got one of those F-116 arms, loves to gun it, loves to attack, uses his arm this time. Bavaro, top of your screen, is going to go down and run just simply down the middle, what they call just a post route. Now he clears the linebackers, as you can see there, 55. Now he's open, but there's not that much room there, Tim, and Sims really gunned that football in there.
Giants knocking on the door once more at the 11-yard line. Sims 8 of 11, 132 yards. Joe Morris, about 3. Doug Martin had a piece of him, number 79, and Mike Stensrud, Mark Mullaney there to help.
You know, if you could compare the 2 running backs, Morris and Darren Nelson, the one major difference, Tim, is that Morris has the ability to stretch a defense out and then cut back against the grain, whereas Nelson is more of a scat back sprinter. He makes his mind up, gets his direction, and then runs right same area. Morris back against the grain.
Morris passed that 1,000-yard mark back in the first period today. Safety in motion, Morris again, and met by 4 purple-shirted Vikings. Stensrud with the initial contact. Now remember, Stensrud is in there for Keith Millard. They picked him up when Mullaney got hurt earlier in the season. Elshire was a bit nicked up, and they picked him up as a free agent. And the former Oiler now being pressed into service.
Stensrud, and I played against him at Houston, believe it or not. There's not many guys left in this league I played against, but he was so big that Mike Barber, the tight end down there, called him Mongo. When you talk to him, he doesn't sound like a Mongo.
3rd down. They need to get to the 1 for a first. Deep drop by Sims. Incomplete. Out of the hands of Maurice Carthen.
Vikings playing the rubber band defense. Bend, 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 but don't break. Once again, they've held off the attack by the Giants. The Giants have been unable to cross the goal line. All they've had to settle for so far has been field goals.
Isaac Colt had the coverage. The ball was there. Carthen didn't hold on. Not one of his strengths as a pass receiver. Raul Allegra will kick with the ball spotted just inside the 15-yard line. He's got it. 3 for 3 for Allegra. And the Giants once again take the lead. Teams trading field goals through this first half. And we have 2:23 to play. And at the end of this first half, we'll be going to our studios in New York.
Landry, Coryell, and then add that in with my coach, Chuck Noll. I felt like I would be as prepared to be an offensive coordinator as any person in the National Football League. Coryell, to me, is just absolutely brilliant the way he disguises his offense and constantly gets people open. It seems that every quarterback that plays in that system that he had, Tim, always piled up lots of yardage. And as a quarterback, that's a lot of fun.
I think Dan Fouts would sure agree with you.
Well, Dan Fouts will be in the Hall of Fame, and he'll probably throw for about 60,000 yards once his career's finished.
Well, it'll be interesting to find out from our Will McDonough what's on the mind of Don Coryell now that he's out of San Diego.
Allegre, big first half so far, 3 field goals.
Two by Chuck Nelson. That's all we've had here. Field goal kicking, and Allegra hits this one. Good kick, deep, down right at the goal line. Rufus Bess gets out to the 26 before he's forced out of bounds. Looks like maybe stepped out at the 24. So the Vikings with 2-minute Tommy about to go to work. 2:14 on the clock, first half, down by 3. Rufus Bess has had a fine year returning kickoffs, averaging 22.5 a kickoff return.
Talking to Kramer, you know, I asked him, what really is the difference between you this year and the last couple of years? And he said, Terry, really not much difference in me. It's really the people I have around. I'm surrounded with better players.
First down at the Viking 42-yard line. You know, one thing that's been nice about this game, only one flag so far in the first half, and we've reached the 2-minute warning. The Giants lead by 3. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw and a puffed-up Viking here at the Metrodome. The Vikings trailing the Giants 9-6 in Minnesota, but their general manager Mike Lynn saying we are still in the hunt for the Central Division title, conceding nothing to the Chicago Bears, and the Bears trailing Atlanta. Jerry Burns, I'm sure, feeling a victory here over the Giants, a win next week against Cincinnati, and then they've got a little easier group of teams to deal with through the remainder of the season. Jerry Burns finally got the job he coveted all along and is enjoying a winning season. First down, Vikings. 2 minutes to play first half. They're at their own 41. Rice. About 9 on the play to the 50-yard line. And now let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York for another NFL update.
Well, Tim, here's the moment the Minnesota Viking fans have been looking for. Mike Tomczak's pass is intercepted. Touchdown Atlanta, 14 yards. Tomczak, 0 of 6. 2 interceptions. Falcons up by 10. Back to Tim and Terry.
Falcons are a good football team. Bears are finding it out today. Second down and a yard to go here. From the shotgun, Kramer on second and short, inside to Darren Nelson. Oh, what a nice play. Crowd loves it. Andy Hedden made to stop, but they're at the Giant 40.
It's a play that everyone has that runs a shotgun, the little hand forward, get it off to your back. As you can see, Kramer's going to take the ball. Everyone expecting pass, little simple handoff. Good job of blocking by the left side of the offensive line. Nelson getting outside, making Kennard miss, getting up for a first down.
Short change the short man. They're at the 36-yard line with a timeout. Tommy Kramer limping off. It's like he might have hurt his ankle or his foot on the last play. What a competitor this guy is. You have to feel good for him in that after the drudgery of the past few seasons, here he is proving that he's still the quarterback he always was. In fact, some of his teammates say, hey, he's not even reached his peak. Another 3 or 4 years, maybe he'll reach his peak then.
Well, you got to now Wade Wilson is warming up, so you've got to ask yourself now Kramer's going back in the field, but you know, yeah, evidently, very simply, Nelson could have stepped on his foot or, you know, got an ankle there. It was a simple handoff and no one touched him, and so I'm surprised that he got hurt. The only thing you can figure out is that Nelson stepped on him.
Well, you need a Derrick to get him out of the game, especially in a 2-minute drill. This is where he loves it. 1:46 on the clock. They're down by 3. We are in the second period at the Metrodome. First down. Nelson, and Kramer quickly calls timeout as they have a first down at the 26-yard line of the New York Giants.
I talked to Tommy Kramer about 2-minute offense and I asked him how they ran their 2-minute offense. Well, he said, we work on it every day in practice, which we've seen this year very few teams do, but I can go to the line of scrimmage, see the coverage, and make audibles at the line of scrimmage. That time, he made an audible when he read blitz by the Giants.
We'll be right back. Giants in front. Tim Ryan with Terry Bradshaw. A tight fit here at the Metrodome. The Vikings are driving with 1:39 on the clock, and they have one more timeout remaining. They're at the 26-yard line of the Giants. Jerry Burns, a lot of fire burns in that little man. He just doesn't show a whole lot during the course of the game unless something real bad happens. Some good happens, he doesn't show much. Really. Some bad happens.
I would expect 2 plays being called with 1:39 now. They would like to have one timeout going with an under minute left, so I'd expect Vikings to run 2 plays.
Got a first down. It's Allen Rice. Rice gets about 4. The 22, you hear Kramer, huddle up, huddle up.
And now you're 1:29 and counting, huddling up. See, I don't understand why you don't have a play called. You're going to run the football. Why not have another play called? Go ahead, line up, and get it off. Because as Tommy said, I can call the whole offense at the line of scrimmage.
They need 6 for a first down. Turned inside, Kramer threw outside. Clock is stopped. 1:05. Third down coming up.
That's an option route that Carter has, but the problem is that if the cornerback, the guy covering Carter, is pressing him, then it's a quick inside route, a quick slant. That time, though, Holt was way off, and all he wanted Carter to do was break out, and that's where Tommy threw the football.
Third down and 6. On the route. Alfred Anderson, the closest man to it, he went outside. Hassan Jones, the rookie, number 84, came inside toward the goalpost.
Well, they were just totally out of sync on that entire series. One time misreading a cornerback, this time Hassan Jones going deep, then cutting off short. Kramer thinking he's going to stay deep, Tim, ends up throwing it deep.
So again, it's up to Chuck Nelson. He's been perfect today. 2 for 2. Allegre, his counterpart for the Giants, 3 for 3. Drake Coleman will hold from the 29-yard line. No weather to worry about here. Nelson misses from 39. And the opportunity to tie escapes the Vikings. 55 seconds still to play, and Phil Simms and company have got some time to make something happen before halftime. Giants will start from their 21-yard line. Next Sunday, it'll be the Packers at Chicago against the Bears, and if the Bears lose to Atlanta today, things really tightening up, and the Vikings very aware of that. They will be in Cincinnati against the AFC team out of the Central Division. 55 seconds left for Phil Simms and company. Gets about 6 near the 29-yard line of the Giants. Time ticking under 45 seconds. Rufus Best made the stop. He's in as a nickel back in the prevent defense for the Vikes. Second down, another short pass to Bavaro, and Bavaro has a first down of the Giant 45.
Now you see the difference in how the Giants are handling the 2-minute as opposed to the Vikings. Sim calling 2 plays, reads the defense, dropped the ball off, picks up 25 yards on 2 pass completions, calls timeout. There's 30 seconds left. You know, you can literally run the football, throw the football in 30 seconds. You can, get at least 4 more plays off if you're running 2 plays at a time. And that's a smart football. And the Vikings are playing what you consider very simple defenses, Tim. There's nothing major to read. Just get guys out there and get them the football and let them run.
That's Pat Hodson in the red jersey, along with Bill Parcells. Simms currently 10 of 14. He only completed 8 passes last week against the Eagles and only 14 in the 2 previous games together. So they're doing what Bill Parcells was hoping they could do today.
Well, the thing he said, he went in earlier in the week and talked to Simms. Just called him in, wanted to have one of those head coach to quarterback chats. And I said, well, why did you call him in? He said, I wanted to remind him to get back to being fearless and daring. Be the Phil Simms I know. Don't be afraid to throw it downfield. Throw it downfield. And Phil Simms admitted, he said, I lost a little confidence. I wasn't doing the things I normally do, whether it's because of the injuries to his wide receivers or not. So I think today, fearless and daring very much describes the way Phil Simms has played in the first half.
He's got 30 seconds left from his own 45-yard line. Complete. First down, Giants.
Now, get up and have another play now. Set them and get the football off.
Bobby Johnson gets him to the 37 of Minnesota. And they do as Bradshaw orders. Flag on the play. Galbraith. 2 Vikings on him. Solomon and Carl Lee did not give him much at all. A couple of yards, but a flag down.
Now, the thing you would have liked to, everyone has to understand.
Illegal motion sign against the Giants.
Everyone has to understand the time, how far we need to go to get in field goal range. That time, I think that what should have happened is they should have just dropped the ball. Know where you're going, know who's around you, and go ahead and execute the plays.
Pat Haggerty with the infraction.
Illegal motion. Number 60. Offense. Still first down.
Brad Benson, the left tackle.
But now you don't have enough time for a field goal, because if you complete it in bounds to get the first down, to really get the ball out of bounds, Phil has got to drop back to the 50-yard line and throw the football, say, 25 yards.
Raul comes in. You saw an angry Bill Parcells reacting to that penalty because it has backed up Raul Alegre considerably. They'll have to spot it at the 50-yard line.
Ooh.
5 seconds on the clock.
60-yarder.
Now Alegre has a long of 44 on the season. He's 3 for 3, as you can see here today. And it is short and a little wide to the left. A 60-yard attempt for Raul Alegre as time expires. And Bill Parcells still furious at the penalty that backed up the Giants and put it out of Alegre's range. They lead 9-6 at halftime. Bradshaw here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Time for the Bradshaw blackboard. And we see in that final 2-minute drill where Tommy Kramer is usually red hot, Lawrence Taylor this time coming from the middle in that incomplete pass. What happened?
Well, the thing that's happened, as I said earlier, was the pressure he had received in the first quarter would take effect later on in the game, forcing him to get rid of the football. Earlier we'd seen an inside route, Kramer throwing outside. Now Taylor in the middle, he comes blitzing up the middle, linebackers from the outside. Now they're going to take Anderson, run him out to the corner. Now they're going to take Hassan Jones, run him to the post, and occupy both the safety in the corner. Kramer throws the ball there, in between here and in between here. No one there, all because of this guy and 70 Leonard Marshall. Now you're going to see it. Kramer, right in the center of your screen, right in front of him. Who do you think? Lawrence Taylor. Here he comes. Now don't think Kramer doesn't know where Taylor is. As you can see, an attempt to hold the football, then all of a sudden Jerome Sally gets in. Kramer unloads the football before he's ready.
So it has resulted in no major scores. We have had only field goals. We've had 3 of them by Raul Alegre of the New York Giants. We have had 2 by this young man, Chuck Nelson of the Minnesota Vikings. The teams have been able to move between the 20s, and then those solid defenses have shut things down, and all they have been able to muster are field goals. 5 yards deep. McConkey will not bring it out. The Giants will start from their 20-yard line to begin the second half of play. Phil Simms brings out the Giants, and again, just kind of updating you on the picture here as you see the halftime stats in favor of the Giants passing-wise, slightly in favor of the Vikings rushing-wise, with Atlanta leading the Bears and the Vikings very much in this game. Suddenly that Central Division race starts to look like General Manager Mike Lynn of the Vikings said it might. The Bears can be caught. On first down intended for Morris, incomplete. From the Giants' point of view, Dallas plays later at San Diego, and they are at 6-4 behind the Giants. The Redskins have a Monday night game. They are tied with the Giants at 8-2. The Giants must keep winning. They want to win the title, get that home field advantage. NFC East championship is their goal, their immediate goal. Second and 10 Giants from their own 20. Joe Morris, big defensive play. Joey Browner, the safety, blitzing into the hole and making the stop on Morris.
You can see the strong safety Browner is going to come up make the stop. Now he's the guy that plays close to the line of scrimmage, and I would expect sometime in the second half for Simms come out, play action to Morris, and then go for the post behind Browner.
Third down and 9 for the Giants. Almost intercepted. Mike Lush, number 27, had the best chance to catch the football. Stacy Robinson, the intended receiver, but I have to believe a miscue there. Robinson back after 4 games away with an ankle injury. Something happened on that route, Terry.
Well, that's exactly right. Simms plenty of time to throw the football, and the way he delivered the football led me to believe that he was expecting that time Robinson to come over the middle. Robinson was nowhere in sight.
First punt of the day for Sean Landeta. Rufus Bess awaits it at the Minnesota 30-yard line. Towering punt from Landeta. Backs up Bess to his 18. Dropped by Pepper Johnson. A 61-yard punt. As we were saying about the circumstances in that Atlanta Bears game, Chicago would fall to 8-3. If Minnesota, clearly very much in this game, were to beat the Giants, they would move to 7-4. So the race not over in the Central Division by any means, and that's the way they have been thinking here. They're not talking wild card. Interesting to hear Joe Gibbs of the Redskins a couple of weeks ago. He's talking, well, we have to figure out the wild card circumstances, and he knew where everybody stood in that race. But the Vikings and Jerry Burns are thinking about the division title. Kramer on first down, complete.
Oh, what a throw.
Leo Lewis between defenders. Reasons and Perry Williams first down.
Play action passes, if you can run the football, will do wonders for your time to get rid of the football. Kramer coming out on first down. Play action, frees the linebackers, picks up Lewis coming over the middle, stands in there now, just drills it in between the linebacker and the safety. Excellent throw and even a better catch.
First down at the 40-yard line of the Vikes. Alfred Anderson. Good effort by Anderson. Picks up 6. They had him shut down. He cut it back about a stride and then bulled his way through a couple of tacklers. Carl Banks, number 58, finally got him stopped.
Anderson, not the type of player that picks his feet up and dilly-dallies around a lot. We've said earlier he's a power back, a guy that sticks his head in there and creates yardage by thrust. That time he noticed he could not go outside, just picked his feet up and tinkle-toed around, then cut back inside for big yardage.
You saw Anderson come out. He and Allen Rice shuttle in the plays for Tommy Kramer, so they get about equal time. Second down and 4. Rice.
Oh my. The old fancy kind of a halfway Statue of Liberty. The Vikings are trying everything today. Tommy Kramer coming back, faking. He's like he's going to throw the football. I don't know who he's trying to fool here, but evidently it fools someone, because now Rice has the football and he's outside and Irwin leads the way. Kind of a fancy play, picks up big yardage for them.
You can see who was pursuing him from the backside. Number 56, Lawrence Taylor, but they made him run a long way. First down, Vikings. In Giant territory, 43-yard line. Kramer, good fake to Darren Nelson, but the Giants were pouring in, and he had no opportunity to throw the football. Lawrence Taylor makes the sack.
Well, you can play action pass and you need time, but when you send Lawrence Taylor 56, play action passes have no effect on him because he's blitzing. He doesn't care what kind of action you make. As you can see, an attempt at a leg whip, Taylor gets his vision focused in on Kramer and then gets in and sacks him.
Second down and 12. Third sack for the Giants. Sideline and Nelson. Oh, what a catch. Is he inbounds?
Yes.
What a catch. A one-hander by Darren Nelson.
When Nelson came out of Stanford, one of the things they liked about him, and the reason Burns especially, who at the time was the offensive coordinator of the Vikings, was that Nelson could run the football, but boy, could he catch it. Look at this catch, folks. One hand wraps it up and clearly inbounds. Just excellent effort that time.
Third down, a long 4. Darren Nelson, a battle of the little guys in the NFL. Joe Morris of the Giants. Darren Nelson, and a little official delay down on the field.
Checking to make sure that the play will stand. If they'll just ask me, I'll tell them it's good. No problem.
Well, that's what they're doing, all right. Before they started the next play, checking with Jack Reeder, the replay official, on the catch by Nelson. And I guess two things.
On further review by the instant replay, the play stands as ruled.
It does stand, and two things could have been brought into question. Did he actually have full possession of the ball as he went out of bounds, and were his feet in bounds at the time? They appeared to us to have been, and that's how it stands. Third down. Long 4, as we said. The ball is at the 38-yard line, just inside the 38 of New York. Kramer and Darren Nelson. Flag down on the play. Is the crowd appreciating Nelson's grab. He just let the momentum of that football take him to the first down yardage, but a flag is against Minnesota.
Lawrence Taylor 56 and Andy Hedden 54. Both of the linebackers for the Giants blitzed, and all Nelson did was occupy the territory.
Holding number 67, offense.
Dennis Swilly, the center, is charged with the hold. Surprised we haven't had one before now against this Giants rush.
Well, that's true, especially on Zimmerman at left tackle. Young man we would expect to have some holding calls from. But once again, the point being is that Nelson, being a smart receiver as a running back, when the linebackers disappeared, he occupied their area, and then Kramer got him the football.
So it is 3rd down and 15 for the Vikings. First penalty against Minnesota. The last one to Swilly.
What a throw.
Lewis. No flags.
Now there's where Tommy Kramer showed some real touch. You're going to see him facing Lawrence Taylor, right in his face and not panicking, standing his ground, and then he gets rid of this football long before Leo Lewis even makes his break. Look at Taylor coming inside. Now Kramer knows this. He senses it and gets rid of the football. There's the ball in the air. Lewis, as you can see, folks, in the bottom right of your screen, has yet to even turn around. He does a good job of turning around, and the ball lands right in his stomach.
175-pounder from Tennessee State. His father played for Bud Grant in the Canadian Football League, and now he's a star here in Minnesota. Kramer intended for Lewis, tried to time that on the break, and that one went awry. 2nd and 10.
Kenny Hill coming in that time. Safety blitz. Kramer seeing it, made it audible at the line of scrimmage, a little quick out, but he was forced by Hill to get rid of the football long before he wanted to.
2nd and 10. The ball at the 24-yard line of the Giants. 9:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kramer hanging up the numbers again, but his team down by 3. Vikings. Giants 9-yard line.
It's an old theory in football that if you can get a great running back, a fast running back on a linebacker, then the running back that makes the catch should beat the linebacker. That time Rice coming out of the backfield makes a simple little catch, outruns Carson, picks up the 1st down.
They spot the ball at the 12-yard line, not the 9, so it is 1st down from the 12 of the New York Giants.
The red area, the hot area, meaning lots of trouble here, Tim.
Alfred Anderson, Darren Nelson, the setbacks. Wilson hit in the backfield. Jim Burt, the nose man.
Burt coming over the center. Swilly just sees it and jumps inside and just nails the back. As you're going to see in the center of your screen, Burt, 64, 1 step to the left, right in there. Doggone near got back there before Kramer was able to get the ball off to the running back and just nails him.
Loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. The ball at the 13. Burt leads the down linemen and tackles on the Giant team. Darren Nelson, and it is incomplete. Andy Hedden quickly reacting. Number 54 arrived almost as the ball did. Nelson, no chance to hold on.
You know, Tim, one of the things a quarterback automatically knows in these situations is that you're going to have man-to-man coverage. There'll be a linebacker on a back. If they blitz, it's still man-to-man coverage. That time they blitzed, but they took the inside linebacker Hedden and put him out on coverage of the back. Therefore, had they completed the pass, wouldn't have made any difference. They weren't going to gain any yardage.
2 extra defensive backs in for the Giants. This has been the pattern of the game. Each team getting into this area and unable to get into the end zone. Nelson inside is dropped for a loss, a late flag. It appeared to me that a Giant might have jumped offside, although the flag came after the ball was handed to Nelson. And it is offside against the Giants. So the Vikings get a reprieve because the Giants had stuffed little Darren Nelson on that play, bringing up what would have been a 4th down.
Offsides. Number 78, defense.
Now what you would like to do, Tim, if you're Kramer, send someone in motion. Therefore, you can read what they're going to do. If someone in the back runs with him, you know it's going to be blitz. Now, this is an area where a quarterback like Kramer should excel, because now you need a strong gun, because the seams down here with 7 yards to go are very small. You got to make your mind up, and you got to react extremely quick.
It is 3rd down. He needs to get to the 2 for a first. You know he'll go to the end zone.
There's your motion. Touchdown.
Allen Rice, what a play. Beautifully designed by the Vikings for the first touchdown of the game.
The thing we talked about, sending the receiver in motion. Carter coming in motion, goes inside, takes the corner with him, and at the same time picks off the linebacker whose responsibility is to cover Rice. When he picks the linebacker off, he knocks down the coverage on Rice. He's wide open. Kramer gets him the ball. Touchdown.
Chuck Nelson for the point after. We'll get a chance to see that unfold. Coleman, and he's going to be dropped, throws the ball up. A flag down on the play.
Coleman trying to pick a fight with Lawrence Taylor. Obviously, when he hit his head on the floor there, it knocked him a little crazy, because he's not making.
Face mask. Underneath there.
Face mask penalty against the Giants. Can you imagine that on a point after? That was already blown. They're going to get another try at it.
Well, is it a post penalty, or is it, obviously they're going to go ahead.
Might be post possession. Let's wait and see what Pat Haggerty says here.
Makes no difference. They're kicking the football.
But they were about to cough up the point after opportunity.
It's very important, because 12-9, all that the Giants.
Face mask. Defense.
All that the Giants would need would be a field goal to tie the football game up, so it's important they get the opportunity.
Loudermilk was the center on the play and the point after, and it was not a good snap to Greg Coleman. They've now put Jim Huff in to snap this ball. The starting left guard who has played center. Swilly, the center, does not normally snap on these point after situations, so they've got Huff snapping on this one as they get their second opportunity. Low scoring game. This is an important point. And Nelson does the job, as Coleman had to handle yet another high snap, but he got this in place. Let's go back to the touchdown play. Perfectly executed score to this young man.
Well, as you can see, Carter coming in motion. He will pick off the inside linebacker, in that case the safety, picks him off. As he comes inside, then all of a sudden outside goes Rice. No one is there. The coverage has gone inside, picked off by Carter. Easy touchdown. Now watch Tommy Kramer. This is how important this game is to the Vikings. Kramer, look at this. Yeah, bouncing up and down. You bet. 13-9.
This is a team that has beaten the Chicago Bears, and they're not conceding anything.
A century ago, the founders of Mercedes-Benz created the world's first automobiles. Over the years, their mastery of technology and intolerance for mediocrity inspired countless automotive legends. Now, as Mercedes-Benz enters its second century, the technology has changed, yet the passion for perfection remains, creating Mercedes-Benz for 1987, legends for the second century.
Imagine the power of two great computer companies coming together as one. Resources not just doubled, but raised to the power of two. Introducing Unisys. True competition in the computer industry. And a single winner.
Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw at the Metrodome, where the first touchdown of the game has been scored, and it was scored by the Vikings. An 8-yard pass, Tommy Kramer to Alan Rice, and they lead 13-9. Chuck Nelson will kick it off. McConkey and Miller, the deep man, and it's Solomon Miller. Buried at the 15-yard line. Lush and Lee and Solomon on the tackle. Right now, let's get an update on that Bears-Atlanta game. Here's Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Tim, the Fridge makes an offensive appearance for the Bears. He's only a decoy. The quarterback, Mike Tomczak, will do it himself, and the Bears have tied Atlanta. It is now 10-all. And Tomczak, with a fine completion, set up the touchdown. Let's go back to Tim.
Looked like the Fridge blocked Tomczak from behind there. That's one way to get him in. We're back here in the Metrodome. Darren Nelson to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 4 for the Vikings. An aroused crowd here, finally seeing the major score. Kramer to Rice. Otherwise, field goals in the first half. 3 by Allegre, 2 by Chuck Nelson. Studwell and Stensrud on that tackle. And again, if you join us along the way and you're a Viking fan, Keith Millard out of action, went down with a knee injury in the first period. Mike Stensrud, number 74, has taken his place. Second down and 7. Deep for Robinson, and the ball short. There's a flag on the play. Lee and Robinson will both claim that they were interfered with by the other guy, Natch. Stacy Robinson, number 81. Number 39, Carl Lee for the Vikings.
They're going to say, now see, the penalty they're saying is because Lee interfered with Robinson's opportunity to make the catch, but it also says that if you both are looking back and the ball is not a catchable ball, you can make incidental contact.
I think Robinson was trying to get back.
Pass interference, number 39. First down.
It's on Carl Lee.
Let's take a
Robinson
look.
was trying to get back to a short ball.
And you can see in the top left of your screen, the ball is actually an underthrown ball. Lee has got Robertson well covered. Now the ball's coming down. That's a bad call.
Now we're back live, and it is Joe Morris getting near the 40-yard line. Another flag down as he went out of bounds. Isaac Holt drove him out after a 5-yard pickup. Let's see what this infraction is.
Face mask.
Face mask penalty against Minnesota. Is it 5 or more? Grasping
It's not an automatic.
5 yards. And you heard somebody say it's not an automatic, so it would appear to me they would be just short of a first down with the 5-yard penalty. Maybe about a football length. And that will put them at the 34-yard line of Minnesota.
Face mask. Defense.
The crowd still upset about the interference call.
As well they should be.
Against Carl Lee. Second down and about a football.
Kramer
Morris.
says, excuse me, Tim, Kramer says we've taken the personality of our head coach Burns on, and his personality is one of fire. You can see that in his eyes.
Complete to McConkey. First down to the 11-yard line. And don't you love that on second and a football, throwing the ball?
Well, that's the old theory. A lot of people say if you're going to gamble, gamble when you realize you can have 2 opportunities to get the first down. Sims going outside, picking up Godfrey Nelson, his guard and tackle, giving him plenty of time. He first searched the end zone, hoping for a touchdown, picked up McConkey on the right side, got him the football. McConkey doing an excellent job of catching and running.
Bill McConkey brought back from Green Bay after being cut loose by the Giants when the wide receivers got hurt. He found himself back with a Super Bowl contender. First down. Oh, Horace is drop, shakes the tackle, but can't get anywhere.
Martin Stensrud. So many times when you have two bad calls go against you, those calls can turn around and be the benefit of the home team, firing them up, getting them excited about football. Stensrud, a backup tackle, coming in, knocking off the block of Ard, getting in the backfield, making the initial contact, that time on Morris, and finally knocked down by Martin.
Yeah, Stensrud nearly stripped the ball. Morris did a good job to hold on. 2nd and 15, Giants. Maurice Cartham.
Fumble!
Stensrud, does he have possession?
No.
The answer from the officials, no, not inbounds. Giants ball.
You had the wrong guy trying to fall on it. As you can see, Stensrud made a valiant effort to recover the fumble, but you would have liked to have had Isaac Holt, number 30, falling on it, a guy that is used to falling on and taking possession with 5 interceptions already this year. As you can see, Carthon out in the flat. Sims a good job of getting the ball. There's the sack by Martin, the tackle. There's the ball loose. Now Stensrud, now the ball's bouncing. Now he should just fall down, but he's got whooped. There's a little clip in the backfield or in the back.
Stensrud unable to get possession inbounds. Does he look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? I think so. Third down. And 11 and a half. Interception. Isaac Holt. Charge led by Stensrud. The interception made by Isaac Holt, his 6th of the season.
As you can tell, Phil Simms having an outstanding first half, now suffers the interception and hurts the Giants.
My amigo Juan just came out from Mexico. So I'm introducing him to my American friend Larry and our favorite beer, Miller Lite.
Por favor. Juan, mi Miller Lite de gusto porque it tastes muy bueno.
Larry.
Ladies, mimosa calories and no gusto filiopo. El comprende? No, not really.
For mucho great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Does your friend speak any English?
Phil Simms, one of the toughest quarterbacks in the National Football. Anyone, in my opinion, that can play in the New York market and go through what this young man has gone through and keep his head above the clouds and keep the wherewithal that he has to continually bounce back. I take my hat off to him. I admire him a lot.
First down for the Vikings. 29-yard line of Minnesota.
Dazzle.
Alan Rice dropped for a loss by George Martin, with his father on hand here from Fairfield, California. George and Doug playing against each other for the first time, and a big play there by George. And the Giants on the road again. Haven't had back-to-back road wins since 1981.
Vikings kind of like the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. They're hard to beat here.
Long way to go at 5:37 remaining. Third period. Giants leading 13-9. Minnesota with the ball after Holt's intercept. Giants again, another loss. Darren Nelson dropped for about a yard more. Harry Carson made the hit, and Chicago has taken the lead, and Atlanta. Vikings fans watching that score carefully. Mike Tomczak for the injured Jim McMahon. David Archer has left the game at the Falcons quarterbacking spot with an injury. That looks like a hockey score there, 7-5. Hey, the Steelers in front, Bradshaw.
Hey.
getting a little better.
Hey, the Saints have been in front for about 5 weeks in a row now, Tim.
Saints are tough. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings. Lewis, Jones, and Carter. 3rd down and long. Kramer tried to get rid of the ball to Carter as he was feeling all kinds of heat. And the Vikings will have to punt. Well, that tough New York defense did the job here. After the interception, they came out there and let it all hang out against Kramer.
Lawrence Taylor once again putting the pressure on Kramer. You know, they're only sending 4 people, and they're keeping 5 in the block, and 2 of them obviously are going to be on Taylor. As you can see that time, getting out around Zimmerman, the left tackle. Now look at Huffman, the left guard coming back in trying to help out, but way too late as he forces Kramer to unload the football way before he wanted to.
McConkey awaits the punt from Greg Coleman. The second punt of the afternoon. McConkey standing at the Giants 32. See Coleman checking all of the Giants. He's expecting the rush, but they blocked it well. Coleman a little bit short. McConkey hit. He was out of bounds, nailed by Carl Lee. And the ball will be at the 42-yard line. I don't know how McConkey managed to hold on.
Anybody that can fly in a helicopter's got the guts enough to handle a punt.
That's for sure. The former Navy helicopter pilot. Look at this. And it was right at the sideline, inbounds. We'll be back.
McConkey going after this punt. He's going to make the catch, and then he is going to get decked by Lee. Now, he has to get up like dating your girlfriend, riding a bike on gravel, falling down. You got to get up.
He bounced right back up. First down, Giants. Sideliner to Stacy Robinson. About a 9-yard pickup into Minnesota territory. It'll leave us 2nd and 1. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update.
But Tim and Terry, if Kevin Butler of the Bears shows up with a pool cue, go the other way. And it's good on the rebound, and the Bears have taken a lead for Mike Ditka. Ditka looks a little tired there on the sideline. Back to Tim.
He must be a little tired. He's having an exciting season all by himself, Ditka. Morris is stuffed short of the first down yardage. He needed a yard, and he was met by Jesse Solomon, the rookie from Florida State, 10th rounder. Jerry Burns says this guy fires things up. You know, I like to just get him in the game, even if he's not playing regularly, because he stirs things up out there. Loves his attitude. But with David Howard hurt, Solomon was the starter today. It'll leave 3rd and a yard. Ball at the 48-yard line. Zeke Moak comes in, double tight on the short yardage situation. Roberts and Damian Johnson, bigger guys on the front line. Morris for the first down to the 42-yard line. Isaac Holt made the tackle. Now don't forget, next Sunday, those Bears who are starting to show some cracks with the injuries, particularly to McMahon, will be home against Green Bay. And even though the Packers continue to struggle this year, that's always a tough football game. Or some of you will see Minnesota at Cincinnati, and another big one for the Vikings. In the doubleheader action, you'll see either Dallas against Washington. That speaks for itself. NFC East playoff battles. And Philadelphia at Seattle. First down, Giants. Interception. Knocked away, loose ball. Giants recover. Bavaro came up with a loose ball. Stensrud had the pressure on Sims. Holt had the football. We had all kinds of things happening, including a penalty.
Well, that's one way to pick up a first down. You're going to see Sims. Stensrud coming in right up the middle. Left side. Sims trying to stand up and avoid the rush. Forces the football to avoid the sack. Throws an interception. Now the fumble. Now Bavaro gets the recovery. First down, Giants. Now you can see what a quarterback goes through, Tim. It's not always peaches and cream. Sims standing up reading his coverage. Stensrud 74 just decks him right in the ribs.
Well, there was no flag on the play. The officials were simply sorting out that sequence, which maintains possession for the Giants. Sims deep, incomplete. Intended for McConkey, a flag down. Isaac Holt on the coverage, and he is unhappy. There's one of those going for the ball things where they're both looking up. 31-yard interference call.
Defensive pass interference, number 30, first down.
You're going to get a good view of this, and you can determine for yourself whether or not indeed Isaac Holt did make pass interference. Sims throwing down the right side of your screen. As you can see, Holt in hot pursuit, not looking back for the ball, but reading the eyes of the receiver. McConkey goes up with his hands. Holt goes over and strips the football. Looks like a good play to me.
Well, I don't know. He didn't give McConkey a chance to catch that one, Terry. I disagree with you. I think it's a good call. Carson is buried. Doug Martin trying to match his brother's performance today.
Number 79, Martin, coming in from the left side of your screen. Going to get inside, penetrates, gets down inside the guard tackle, knocks Ard off. Ard can't knock him out, penetrates, and then he knocks Carson down for a 4-yard loss. Tim, getting back to that, he didn't let him catch it. You don't have to let him catch it.
No, I don't mean
that ball's there. You can go ahead and knock his hands loose.
Well, the way I saw it is he was totally screening McConkey from having a chance to even see the ball coming down. You can't do that with your hands in front of him. Second down.
Blitz. Good play, Sims.
Mark Mullaney with the pressure on him, and Sims threw it out of bounds.
You can throw it 10,000 yards over this stadium, throw it anywhere, just throw it out of bounds. They will not throw a flag on you for intentional grounding. Smart play by Sims.
1:15 to go here in the third quarter. A tense football game.
Notice how the tooth of the tiger now has come out of the Viking defense. A big penalty against their defense has always brought out the fierce fight in them. They always seem to come back and really stuff it.
We've seen so much of in this game of this similar situation at both ends. The defense is rising up in the so-called red zone from the 20-yard line in. Sims, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. I believe Doug Martin got a hand on it.
Martin or Mullaney?
I think Martin.
Let's look at Martin, number 79, alongside of Stendrew, the tackle, up the field, nothing fancy, just one-on-one. They have the green call, which means I can do what I want to do with my pass rush techniques. He beats his man and blocks the pass.
Allegre from the 27-yard line, a 37-yard attempt. It is good. So Raul Allegre hit again. And we have a one-point football game as time winds down in the third quarter. The Vikings in front.
When I played football, they called me a troublemaker. But really, I'm just a nice guy who likes to watch a game with a Miller Lite. I see you're drinking light, too.
Yeah, it tastes great.
I agree. But he drinks it because it's less filling.
Tastes great.
Did you hear that?
It's less filling.
Pretty strong words.
It tastes great.
Less filling.
Tastes great.
Less filling.
Tastes great!
There's no argument. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Is that a light beer you're drinking?
Yeah, it tastes great.
I agree, but that's not what he said.
Mark Mullaney, 77, right in for the Vikings. Evidently, Jim, from chasing Sims all day long, he's gotten hot. They've been pouring water on his head for about 5 minutes. There's Sims talking to offensive coordinator Ron Earhart, saying what they can do to try to get this football across the goal line other than Allegre's kicking.
Allegre kicks it up. It's taken at the 1-yard line by Rufus Betts. Betts gets up to the 24 for the Vikings. And those of you wondering about Joe Morris's numbers today, 37 yards on 14 carries as we are about finished the third period of play. And he had 4 consecutive 100-yard days. Today, Sims has been going to the air. And Chicago continuing to lead Atlanta, but just by 3. Green Bay having a fine afternoon against Tampa Bay today, trying to get their second win of the season, and next week it'll be the Pack at Chicago.
Pack plays pretty good in Milwaukee, huh?
Well, yeah, I tell you, the thing is, in a Packer-Bear game, too, you know, you kind of throw out all of the form and just expect anything to happen.
Buffalo, Miami. New Orleans, the Saints over Cliff Stout, my old buddy at Pittsburgh, quarterbacking now for the Cardinals, 10-7.
It is 13-12. The Vikings by 1. Don't forget they got that second shot at the point after their field goal because of the face mask penalty against the Giants. That's the margin. Darren Nelson plugs his way for about 4 yards. Stack of Giants greet him. Harry Carson at the bottom of it, as he so frequently is. 70 tackles coming into the game for the 11-year veteran. He's kind of the heart of that defense, and George Martin the soul. The two experienced veterans, and younger players look to them for leadership. They provide it. They've been written off as a little too old to play this game. And here they are with Martin playing every down. The injury to Curtis McGriff keeping him out as the run defensive end. Oh, kinds of movement that time.
Irwin, the right tackle that time, 76. Got a little antsy, pulled his hand up off the turf. They're going to catch him.
Eric Dorsey, the #1 pick from Notre Dame, jumped over the line. Let's see who gets the call.
False start, number 76, offense.
Well, that was Tim Irwin, and it was the play that drew Eric Dorsey, getting a little time in there and giving George Martin a little well-earned rest.
Irvin the other day in practice came up to me, and as big as this game is against the Giants, he heard me talking to one of the players that was on injured reserve about fishing, bass fishing in Florida. So that's all he wanted to do. He wanted swilling me. He wanted me to take swilling him bass fishing when their season was over with.
And you'll do it too.
Sure I will.
The gun ending the third period. Any excuse to fish. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Vikings 13 and the Giants 12. We now pause for a word from your local station. Well, these two very good defenses continue to show why they are ranked where they are. Minnesota #8, Giants #5, and on first down, Steve Jordan from Tommy Kramer gets about 6 yards.
Safety blitz that time by strong safety Kenny Hill, 48. Kramer reading it. Jordan breaking his route off.
Here's how things stand at the moment. The Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have the Vikings and the Giants with a 1-point differential. And the opportunity for the second point after attempt, giving the margin of victory, or the margin of the lead, to the Minnesota Vikings. And that came on a penalty against the Giants. Third down and 6. Kramer complete. Leo Lewis. And Lewis gets up a little angry because he knew that he was not yet at the first down marker. It'll leave third and about a yard.
Kramer grabbing his right thumb on his throwing hand. Obviously either hit a helmet or a shoulder pad. You're going to see Taylor coming in. Taylor's been doing this all day long, just barely missing Tommy a couple of times. Doug dips down inside. Now there's the follow-through, and that's what got Tommy Kramer. The follow-through going over behind Lawrence Taylor and hit him on the back. Probably the thumb went in.
It is fourth down, Minnesota. Coleman standing at his 6-yard line, ready to punt. The deep man for the Giants, Phil McConkey. And another dandy punt by Coleman. McConkey, a fine return to midfield, a flag down on the play. 44-yard punt, 15-yard return, and an official wiped out on the return play. Dick Creed, the side judge, the injured official. And he's getting some attention over there on the sideline, saying he's all right. These are tough guys, too, wearing the stripes.
Illegal push in the back. Number 54 on the return.
Penalty is against Andy Hedden of the Giants.
Well, sometimes these things happen. You get inside, the refs are there. They're always getting in the action. There's a little shot. Well, you know, sometimes with that retaliation for some of the calls, sometimes you get a little push in there and a little kick, and You know, it's funny in a way, but, you know, certainly you can't blame these guys for doing their job, but they do get their noses in there.
Kramer on the bench will be waiting to see if he can come back. Evidently hurt his throwing hand on the last offensive play by the Vikings. Wade Wilson is his backup. It is Giants ball at the 30-yard line. 13:16 to go regulation time. The Giants trail by a point. Joe Morris, nice catch. Not a lot of mileage on it, maybe 3. Chris Martin and Joey Brown are there for the Vikes. College football next Saturday on CBS. Doubleheader, Michigan, Ohio State. Big Ten action. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl. They'll meet Arizona State. Arizona State meets Arizona in a cross-state rivalry in our doubleheader game 2. It all begins at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central next Saturday here on CBS Sports. Second down and 7. County in motion. Morris trying to get wide. Good defensive play. Carl Lee waiting for him on the corner. Scott Studwell helped him out. Held him to a 2-yard pickup.
One of the few teams that play a 4-3. Mulaney, 77, the right end, will come in hot pursuit, forcing Morris back inside. And the middle linebacker, Studwell, 55, will come up and make the tackle. Now, you can see Mulaney chasing Morris. Now, Morris says, oh, my gosh. He turns inside and runs right into Studwell.
Third down and 5. Brown knows this is a big play. Play by Phil Simms. Galbraith with a first down for the Giants.
Unbelievable. Dropped the snap, kicked it around, picked it up, had presence of mind not only to pick it up but to look downfield and get the ball to Galbraith and unbelievably get the first down. Now watch, takes his eyes off the ball first of all. That's a no-no, drops it. Now he picks it up. Now he's going to run. He sees he's going to be sacked, turns around and throws the ball, and there he is, Galbraith.
Tony Galbraith, he always knows where the marker is, so he sure did his job, but what a play by Simms. First down, 41-yard line. Cartham. 3 Vikings hold him to a 4-yard gain. Chris Martin, Studwell, and Joey Browner.
I like the offense the Giants have used today. Initially starting off throwing the football to get Simms into the rhythm. And as well as Simms has done in this football game throwing, now there's a possibility here that Wilson will be coming in playing for Kramer.
Second down and 6 for the Giants at the 46-yard line. First down for the Giants in Minnesota territory at the 48.
Well, as I was saying, Tim, though, I like the way they're throwing this football, not really forcing it downfield now. Actually, if you want to relate it to something, you could say that Simms is using his short passing game as his running attack, picking up 4 yards, 5 yards. The linebackers are really deep, so go ahead and just dink it off and get 4 and 5 yards, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they're being successful at it.
Well, to point that up even further, Joe Morris has been running for over 100 yards in a game. 4 straight games, has only 37 yards rushing today. So they have changed that little concept. It's been effective, except inside the 20. Reverse to Bobby Johnson. A lot of room for him. Nelson with a block. To the 25-yard line of Minnesota. A little razzle-dazzle by the Giants. A big play for Bobby Johnson, 22 yards.
You love the run reverses when you have ends that like to pursue. 77 Mulaney coming in hot pursuit. Down follows the tackle. Look at the linebacker that time, Solomon. Everybody chasing the play. Then all of a sudden, look out. Here it comes the other way. Big play. Bobby Johnson downfield, first down. Automatically puts him in field goal territory.
The New York Giants yet to score a touchdown today. We have 9:35 remaining in regulation time. First down at the Minnesota 25. Play action.
Wide open.
Bobby Johnson, touchdown. Sims did his own little wiggle.
That is a little dance.
So the Giants finally get it into the end zone.
They said they wanted to come out in the eye and play action to Morris, free the weak safety, get him to commit up, and then turn around and hit the quick post going in behind Browner. That time an excellent play action play. Look at Johnson. He beats his man. Touchdown. Now, the frustration of the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks for Philip Sims. Look at this. That's a little dance, isn't it? You bet. I don't blame him.
25-yard score to Bobby Johnson. And the Giants take the lead. Allegre with the point after, flags down on the play. Let's see what Pat Haggerty and company picked up here on the infraction.
Offside, number 74, defense.
Well, that's Mike Stensrud. He's been playing superbly for the injured Keith Millard, who went out in the first quarter today. And you can see that fire and eagerness on the part of Stensrud, offside, trying to stop that point after. 9:30 to go, fourth quarter.
Man, skiing sure is fun. You run into lots of nice people out there.
Yeah, we ran into Corky yesterday.
That's for sure. And afterward, there's nothing like a warm fire. Oh, I'll see.
And a cold Miller Lite. Light really tastes great.
And it's less filling. And us hot doggers don't like to get filled up. Speaking of hot dogs, where's Euchre?
You!
Great seats, hey, buddy! Hey, where are all the guys? They're missing all the fun!
For great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Tommy Kramer, anytime you see an athlete, especially a quarterback, Tim, put that towel around his neck. Hey, that tells you that this dance might be over with. He's got that thumb injury. As you can see, he's showing him, I got hit right here and pulled it back. And you can say, hey, this sucker hurts. So what's going to happen, Tim?
Well, Wade Wilson is the man on the spot now, the 6-year man from East Texas State. An 8th-round pick in '81, has not had a whole lot of action, has played only when Kramer's been hurt. But on the other hand, he has fought off any number of other quarterbacks who have come in trying to be the number 2 to Kramer. Wilson has outlasted all those guys. He's from Commerce, Texas, and he can throw the football. The kickoff taken by Best way deep, and so the Vikings will start from their own 20-yard line. Well, Kramer leaves the game 16 of 25, 188 yards.
Having an outstanding game, another pressure-packed game for Tommy Kramer. Now Wilson comes in. Now everyone in this league can throw the football, but what you look for now is those intangibles that make you a great quarterback. And let's start with poise. Let's see now how he fares against Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Marshall.
And the fans will give him all the support they can.
Well, he doesn't need fan support. He needs guard tackle support.
You got that right. Those are his season numbers. He's only thrown 6 times. Nelson. First down.
Now, if the Vikings can establish some type of running game on this series of downs, it will be the best medicine for young Wilson. It's the thing they need, is do not put him in a position to have to make critical plays. They can run this football. Boy, it'll be a plus for them.
Taylor and Kenny Hill made the tackle there. Wilson, 27 years of age, 6 years in the league, but as we said, has not really seen a whole lot of concentrated action, just when they've needed him with injuries to Kramer. 31-yard line of the Vikings, trailing 19-13. Steve Jordan, first down in Giant territory.
Hey, look at this. Play action, bootleg, getting Wilson outside. Does a nice job of getting out there, getting some time, and then he picks up Steve Jordan coming across. Look at this. Now you're going to see a little crossbuck action. Nelson one way, and there's no one out. Then all of a sudden, there's Carson coming up to make the hit, but nice, cool effort. This is what we were looking for. Does he have the poise to handle these situations? Now, so many times you say, well, let's protect the quarterback. Now, is this a late hit? Nah. Hey, these guys have a helmet on. Get up.
First down at the 49. Harry Carson just gave him a little gentler there. He's got a man open. Jordan. First down, Vikings. Jordan's 6th catch of the afternoon. And he hadn't made the tackle.
Steve Jordan frankly told us the other day, or at least he told me, I don't know where you were, Tim. He told me, he said, you know, I really want to make the Pro Bowl. I said, well, what's more important to you? You're blocking, you're receiving it. And he looked at me and he just said, hey, I want to catch the football. I want to be known for catching the football. Today, 6 receptions. I'd say he's established that.
He's averaging 16.2 yards a grab. Didn't score a touchdown last year and thinks that's why he didn't get to the Pro Bowl last season. Wilson under pressure, and Anderson, what a play by Taylor. Anderson caught the football, but Lawrence Taylor right there. Herb Welch on the safety blitz putting all kinds of heat on Wade Wilson.
Well, when you don't have the ability, or you're not having success sending Taylor, sending your linebackers to get to the quarterback, you mix it up by sending a safety. That time it caught the Vikings totally off guard, and doggone near made a completion back there for a 12-yard loss.
Well, that usually fearsome Giants rush has been doing its job. The pass was incomplete as Taylor, with his hit on Anderson, knocked the ball loose. So far, young Zimmerman's been doing not badly over there. Just over the outstretched hands of Jordan, who had his man beat, and that was the linebacker Carl Banks. 3rd down.
Now all of a sudden a couple of completions. Look at the eyes of this quarterback. Look at his eyes. All of a sudden they turn from fear and doubt to all of a sudden of aggressiveness. Give me the ball. Call the plays.
3rd and 10. Well, you can see Jordan and Bavaro, who lead their teams in receptions. And today Jordan doing the job. He's got 6. Bavaro's got 4 for New York. They're contending with each other for the NFC Pro Bowl. 3rd and 10, Vikings.
Blitz.
Deep for Carter. Touchdown. Anthony Carter, coming off arthroscopic surgery, missed 4 games. Since he's been back, even at 95%, he's been the main man.
The key to this is to pass by Wilson, having to unload this football and anticipate where the receiver was going to be. Did an outstanding job. Carter takes it in.
33 yards for the touchdown. Kramer hit Allen Rice for the earlier Minnesota score. Here it is.
Now you can see Perry Williams, 23, man-for-man coverage when they blitz. Leans inside on Williams, pushes away, and the ball is already gone. It's already left Wilson's hand. Perfect throw, excellent route, touchdown.
Chuck Nelson for the point after. Drama in the Metrodome. Backup quarterback Wade Wilson has the Vikings in front. We'll be back. Minnesota by 1. Tim Ryan, Terry Bradshaw at the Metrodome in Minnesota, where the Vikings have regained the lead on a 33-yard touchdown pass to this young man, Anthony Carter, the former Michigan Wolverine, out of the USFL and into the hearts of Viking fans. Nelson's kickoff taken by Solomon Miller. Dropped by Carl Hilton.
As you can see again, all-outs blitz by the Giants. Hedden coming up inside. Taylor coming up inside. Safety coming from the outside. No one left outside but Perry Williams and Carter. Carter beats an excellent throw by Wilson.
Let's go!
Andy Hedden barely hurt his foot on the play, getting some attention on the sideline. Giants football at their own 22-yard line. 6:45 to play. Otis Anderson. The former Cardinal, first involvement in the game and is close to a first down. Studwell made the tackle. Anderson, since coming over from the Cardinals in a deal, has been troubled by a hamstring injury, has not yet really contributed very much to the Giants. 13 rushes, 50 yards coming into the game. There's a timeout on the field.
Going to measure, see if they made a first down. You know, you would like to see changes. The thing that has not taken effect really is a change in the coverage so far in the last two series on the Vikings, because right now Sims, that's the fourth time he's thrown that pass to a running back coming out of the backfield with no one on him. Short.
They need about the length of a football for a first down. The ball at the 32-yard line. Jeff Hostetler comes in with a play. Hostetler, the third-string quarterback, is also a wide receiver. He also plays on the punt return team for the Giants, and last week blocked a punt in that role. He goes out wide left.
He said, I want to get involved. I want to play.
McConkey out to the right. Sims would appear to have the first down.
Now, earlier in the third quarter, with second down and a foot, we saw Sims come out, play action pass for a big play. Now you kind of wonder, why didn't they do it again? Maybe they say, well, we're not going to fool anyone. But with 8 inches to go, you would like to see something like that happen. At least I would.
Well, even Bill Parcells admits that in these later stages of the game, his tendency is to be conservative, and I think we saw a little of it there.
But he said that was when he had a lead, too.
He's down by a point. Anderson, hit by Studwell, gets 7 yards near the 40-yard line of New York. 6'2", 225-pounder, let loose by the Cardinals. Gene Stallings rebuilding there, unloaded the former big star for St. Louis. Giants hope he can help them in the stretch drive. Eagles and Lions continue to battle in a low-scoring game. Buffalo, leading Miami, continues to have its problems. Second down, a long three. Swing to Anderson. Stopped short of the first down yardage by plenty. Met by Studwell and Chris Martin. They may have gone to the well a little too often on that little swing to the running back.
What they did was bait in that time. They set some bait out for Sims. Gave him the look that everyone's dropping deep once again, the linebackers that is. So Sims read. Notice the linebacker, 57 Martin, dropping out of your screen. Sims reads that, drops it off to the running back, but oh, lo and behold, inside comes Studwell. So they kind of set him up that time.
Well, it leaves them short by a little more than a yard. Giants 41. Intended for Morris, incomplete. Morris protesting there should have been interference. The coverage by safety John Harris got really, as far as I could see, it was the first contact and nothing serious.
Joe Morris was saying that he was interfered with his ability to go out and make the catch. Now you can see him on the sideline. Now here comes the pass, and you see 44 Harris come over. Now there's the shot to Morris right in his shoulder.
A shot?
Well, half a shot. Hey, listen, we have seen calls where you can just touch a guy and the flag goes flying everywhere.
You can't call that one. Come on. Fourth down, Landetta at the 25-yard line. Whoa, was he rocketed? Rufus Bess, pretty good return for the Vikings up to the 17-yard line. 3:53 to play. Minnesota by 1. We'll be right back. Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw watching the Minnesota Vikings with a narrow, to say the least, 1-point lead over the New York Giants. Vikings ball. Tommy Kramer has left the game here in the fourth period with an injured thumb. Wade Wilson is the quarterback. First down at his own 16. Darren Nelson, not much. Harry Reasons at the bottom of that. Gary Reasons, number 55. Reasons, the third-year linebacker from Northwest Louisiana State.
That's right, Northwest State. Fighting demons.
Down there, they just have to say Northwest State. They don't have to say Louisiana, do they?
Hey, this Reasons is quite a guy. Only small college guy to ever be a All-American for 3 years. So that tells you a lot about that Louisiana water. That got you, didn't it?
Second and 8. Darren Nelson driven back. Jim Burt, the nose man, plays with what you call a little bit of enthusiasm. Jim Burt, he is something.
Excellent job by Burt fighting off Swilly and getting outside. Actually, that play is a play that he should not make. He should be going up the field, but he read it extremely well, got out and made the stop.
Third down and 7 at the 20-yard line. Big third down situation here. They've got to keep this football in order to keep the lead. The Giants, contrarily, wanted to punt. Wilson does not get there. He got to the 25-yard line scrambling. Excellent coverage downfield by the Giants secondary. No target for him. Jim Burt chasing him. And Burt driving him out at the 25-yard line. He's all bulked up, padded up.
Ideally suited for a nose tackle, 6'1", 280, a lot of bulk, ties up 2 or 3 blockers in the middle, responsibilities to take on 2 blockers and free these linebackers, Taylor from outside, Banks from the other side.
Well, I tell you, want to get a comedy show, it's Burt and Parcells at the Giants practice. I mean, those guys get on each other like a couple of junkyard dogs, and it is really a sight to hear and see. Parcells admires the play of his nose man.
He also knows his temperament, knows who he can pick on.
That's right. Coleman standing at the 10. McConkey, the return guy, at the 31.
Oh.
High arching punt by Coleman. He and Landetta pounding it. Almost too good a punt. He gave McConkey a lot of room, and he got to the 40-yard line. Jesse Solomon made the stop there. So the Vikings with 2:14 still lead by 1, and meanwhile Chicago leading Atlanta 13-10. David Archer out of that game for the Falcons at quarterback. Tom Zach for the Bears. So depending on what happens there, here's the situation. Minnesota came in here saying we're not surrendering the Central Division title. They can move to 7-4 with a victory. The Falcons could drop the Bears to 8-3, but Atlanta trailing at the moment. First down. Giants, 40-yard line of New York. Deep for Stacy Robinson. Hold on.
Oh, this just drives a quarterback crazy. Hasn't played in a while. He gets outside. He beats his man. He's free, as you can see. Isaac Holt turns back to the inside. Robinson stays outside. Now he's wide open, and Sims just lays the ball out beautifully. But look at the hands go up. His hands go up when he should be actually just continue running. Reaches up and drops that ball. No excuse for that.
Stacy Robinson, a local boy. He is from St. Paul Central High School. 24-year-old wide receiver. A lot of family and friends here watching him, but he dropped it. Second and 10. Blitz. First down to Bobby Johnson. He shook off the tackle of Studwell, who had himself a sack, but Sims muscled that pass and made the first down.
So many times we've seen the referee throw in the graphs and call it a sack. Sims spins out. As you can see, Studwell, 55, will blitz. 54, Solomon to your right, blitzing. Now Sims is in the graphs. Look at Studwell, grabs him. Now Sims slings the ball with those big, powerful legs and drills the ball to Johnson for a first down.
2-minute warning. Giants with the football at the Minnesota 45, down by 1. The Giants and the Vikings at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. We've got 2 minutes to play regulation time. And Minnesota leading by 20-19. The Vikings getting a second chance at a point after a high snap. And the play over, but a penalty on it, a face mask against the Giants of all things, gave them a second chance. And they made it. Allegre with 4 field goals for the Giants. And Morris only 39 yards rushing. That's because Sims has thrown 35 times today. First down at the 45 of Minnesota. Otis Anderson. Only got a couple. Joey Browner, the safety, coming up, and a little extra pushing and shoving between Anderson and Browner.
Well, Anderson doesn't need to be up there picking fights. The clock's ticking off 1:40 and counting. He's picking fights. You're trying to win a football game. Get in the huddle, get the play, get up there.
You got some point there. He only got a yard. 2nd and 9.
Fight when it's over.
Intended for Bobby Johnson, too high, off his fingertips. On the coverage, the safety, John Harris, number 44. .118 on the clock. Stopped with the incompletion. Both teams with their full 3 timeout complements remaining. Gary Burns, by the end of the game, he needs to see his hairstylist.
The Giants need to get to the 30-yard line to have a good shot for a nice field goal, a 42-yarder. They need to get to the 35 just to pick up a first down.
They are 4 of 12 today in this department.
Timeout. Minnesota
takes a timeout. Now, you know, Tony Galbraith is in the lineup as expected on 3rd down. In almost every case like this, they'll try and go to him. So Floyd Peters probably talking about that very thing, thinking maybe they'll try to cross him up.
Yeah, one of the things that Peters could do here is take a linebacker and play him inside on Galbraith and bring a safety up and double him. Now, if you do that, then you isolate a corner, and that could be trouble because that could mean touchdown for the Giants. So what do? It's a chess message here, and you obviously are not going to blitz. If you blitz now, Sims being as sharp as he is, hey, you blitz, it's history. So it'll be interesting to see now how they do cover Galbraith.
They call him Sergeant Rock. Floyd Peters with the dark glasses there. And you can see Bill Sims talking with Pat Hodson. Now, meanwhile, a look at the larger context here. The Giants at 8-2 trying to climb up to 9-2. Washington plays Monday night, don't forget. And they will play the 49ers. Dallas playing at San Diego later today, still in the thick of things. Now, next Sunday, Green Bay will be at Chicago. Minnesota at Cincinnati. So in the NFC Central Division, a victory by the Vikings today, a huge one. And Dallas meets Washington in our doubleheader game next week. 3rd down and 9. The playoff picture starting to come a little more clear. Doug Martin bought dinner for his brother last night and sacked his brother's quarterback on the biggest play defensively today. All the way back to the 48 of the Giants. 1:12 on the clock. 4th down upcoming. Sims goes over to talk to Parcells and company. And tonight, as usual, following our excitement of NFL football, we got fun right here on the football field. 1:12 to go. Giants trail by a point.
Sims under pressure today, sacks 2. He's been forced to unload the football 5 times, knockdowns once, batted balls, interceptions twice. Drop passes we also should have in here because he's had one sure touchdown pass dropped by Stacy Robinson. Unfortunately for quarterbacks, those hardly ever make it.
He's got 1 touchdown pass to Bobby Johnson, a perfect strike from 25 yards out. 24 of 37 on the day. Complete. First down at the 30-yard line, Bobby Johnson.
Unbelievable.
He was wide open there, Terry. Wide open, standing still at the sideline.
It's not Johnson that is so important here as it is Sims, who under duress unloaded that football sidearm. Look at Johnson. Now he's going to go down, reads the safety, and does a smart thing. Slows down, stops in the open area. Sims gets the football to him. He makes the reception. But Sims is the guy. Look where Sims is, on his back, up, waving his arms. Great throw by Phil Sims. Smart route by Johnson.
Stensrud had the pressure on Sims. It is first down, Giants at the 30-yard line. 1:06. Doug Martin leaps across. He'll claim he was pulled.
Encroachment, defense, number 79.
It is against Doug Martin. 5 more for the Giants, down to the 25-yard line of the Vikings. Allegre with 4 field goals to his credit already today, including a 56-yarder, a 41-yarder is his long one. He tried from 60 and missed. 41-yarder, his long one today. First down, Giants.
Almost broke that and got in the end zone.
Chris Martin tripped him up.
Now you're in no hurry. Now the Giants they have the luxury of playing it, taking it easy, feeling like their field goal kicker can get out there and kick and win the winning field goal. Now I personally would like to be out there and calling these things and shooting that football into the end zone and try to get a touchdown. But hey, you know, 36 seconds left. Let's see what happens.
17-yard line. Joe Morris stopped by Joey Browner at the 15. 22 seconds and counting down.
Timeout, Vikings.
Tim Ryan and Terry Bradshaw with 22 seconds on the clock. Regulation time at the Metrodome. Minnesota clinging to a 1-point lead. The Giants have the ball. Second down and 8 at the 15-yard line of the Vikings. Phil Sims has the plays from the offensive coordinator, Ron Earhart, and brings them onto the field. He made a huge fourth down play to get the Giants down here to the 15-yard line. And a chance to win the game. Raul Allegre with 4 field goals to his credit already today. Morris, nowhere. Sims will head to the sideline again.
Parcells gives Sims a nod of approval. Allegre's the guy that right now that all of a sudden has had 4 field goals, Tim. And now they're going to call on him to come out and win this football game for you. And, you know, he's got to be saying, hey, look, why didn't you guys go on in and score? I've got 4 out of 5 today. I'm pretty happy with my effort, but good gosh, don't put all this heat on me like you've done. Also, another point to be made. Phil Sims, in my opinion, definitely has answered the critics. I think Phil Sims is back. I think his attitude, his daringness that Parcells wanted has certainly come out front today.
Well, the one thing he emphasized was, hey, we haven't been throwing the ball as often. Therefore, my young receivers haven't had the opportunities to catch it. I haven't had the opportunity to put up the better numbers. Today he's thrown 37 times. Allegre has hit from 41, 31, 24, missed from 60, and then hit from 37. Makes that 37 twice already. And the ball spotted at the 22-yard line. Jeff Rutledge will hold. 32-yard attempt. He's got it. The Giants, with 12 seconds on the clock, have reclaimed the lead. The Giants, who led 9-6 at halftime, fell behind 20-19, and there's the picture graphically. Field goal number 5 for Raul Allegre.
Well, it's hard to say if this is the game winner, because after each one of these field goals, he takes a 5-step, a running leap, a flying cross, a few spins, jumps up into the arms, as these little kickers can do, because they only weigh about 125 pounds wet. A great performance by Allegre today.
44 yards in 10 plays leading to the go-ahead field goal, and the Giants just having to get 12 seconds off the clock and move themselves to 9-2 on the season. The Redskins play Monday night at home against the 49ers. Dallas at 6-4 gets underway shortly at San Diego. Bill Parcells, who sweated through some difficult moments here, some mistakes his team made here and there, and now can breathe a little more easily.
He's a coach that when you ask him, what do you like about being a head coach, he doesn't say the winning or the losing. He just looks at you and says, I enjoy practice. And you ask him why, and he says, because I like being around the players. I like messing with them. I don't like taking off film and figuring out strategy.
And Jerry Burns, always a populist coach with his players.
59-year-old rookie.
Getting a chance to be a head coach in the NFL and having an outstanding effort from the team responding to his style. Bob Schnelker and Floyd Peters appointed as offensive and defensive coordinators, and even if they should lose this, which it appears they will, the Vikings having themselves a fine season and showing that they can play with the best teams. They have a win over Chicago, and they've battled the Giants here right down to 12 seconds. 22-20. Allegre. Play it safe. A line drive. Hot on the fly.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Everybody getting a chance at it. Rufus Bess. When you look at this, Alan Rice picks it up on the fly. Now that's the Stanford band play. Don't you just love it? But the game is all over.
Unbelievable.
There must have been 8 guys handle the ball. And Chris Dolman finally wound up with it, but he had nowhere to go. The Giants bury them at the 40-yard line and have come from behind to win a squeaker. Here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Raul Allegre, the hero, with 5 field goals, including the winner, 12 seconds on the clock. And the Giants move to 9-2 in the NFC East. The Vikings fall to 6-5. All kinds of action here and some great defensive play. Both teams marching up and down between the 20s all the way into the 3rd period, and the defense is stopping them and allowing only field goals. For Terry Bradshaw, this is Tim Bryant saying so long from the Metrodome. Coming up next, the NFL Today postgame show.